So yesterday, I was watching a tutorial on how to get 10 million subscribers in 1 minute by someone with 69 subscribers, and then I got a notification from the man who gave birth to this channel.
Oh my god! Captain Kuba だよ!
Hey, how's it going, guys? Captain Kuba here, and today it's time to discuss the God of War community's favorite topic, who blew the horn?
He posted this screenshot and said, "Is she teasing God of War remakes?" And I just thought of making this video on the things they need to change in the remakes. Today, I'll talk about 5 changes to both God of War 1 and 2 that need to happen. I'm not sure about the other games. God of War 1 and 2 are the only ones we can expect a remake of. Ascension, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta probably won't even get re-released. That's why this video will mainly focus on God of War 1 and 2 only. And trust me, after watching this video, you guys are going to be asking for the exact same things in the remakes as me right here. And yes, I'm still going to continue with this video despite not being able to play the remakes myself due to the lack of a PS5 on my desk and money in my pocket. I don't even have a wallet. Yes, that's how broke I am. But I will still demand these things in the remakes for everyone to enjoy because you, who is new to the channel, won't subscribe.
Subscribe, motherfucker!
Anyways, let's continue with my first demand, extended gameplay. God of War 1 and 2 are both long and filled with amazing adventures, but that's only the first time you play. By now, I'm sure everyone can finish both games in under 3 hours easily, unless you're doing a challenge run or something. So, the gameplay needs to be much bigger. We can have a bigger gameplay without unskippable cutscenes. Just make some long-ass puzzles or some trap rooms where you fight and solve puzzles to escape each floor or something. Don't get me wrong, both games have their fair share of difficulty and puzzles already, but a little bit more won't hurt, unless you're a speedrunner. For example, this section in God of War 2 is just breaking the nose of this statue, and you're against the Sisters of Fate. You just beat the Kraken, and now you're straight up against the Sisters, a boss fight right after a boss fight. So, I think the room should be extended and should have some encounters before you reach the Sisters, and not just this spot. Or they can hide all 4 levers inside of the horses, and you have to collect them and fit them into place, and fight a whole lot of enemies and solve a whole lot of puzzles. I can't really say much about God of War 1 here because you do have a lot of encounters in that game compared to God of War 2, but God of War 1 needs a few more bosses because there are only 3 bosses in the game, and Medusa isn't even considered a boss by many. Which gets us to my second demand, make Medusa worthy. Medusa in God of War 1 just feels like a normal Gorgon, except you keep her head and throw away the heads of other Gorgons, which sucks. But at least for Kratos, he gets some other head because of her a few years later. But that's a topic for another day. They can improve the Medusa boss fight significantly. First of all, Medusa has the ability to teleport. She literally teleports to you in God of War 1 to fight you. Why not just make it her ability? Make it so that she goes underground like the Wraiths and then gets out, beaming you, and you turn to stone, or she throws out those balls or whatever to turn you to stone. Secondly, give her some minions to control to make the fight harder and more intense. Give her some snakes to control, some big-sized snakes or whatever. Make it so that you can just insta-kill them by grabbing them. Kratos just grabs a snake and rips it in half. How cool is that? Of course, this will make the fight more fun. This concept is kinda like the Scorpius, but it's much better. And also, instead of just grabbing her and beheading her, why not trap her? Make it so that she escapes from you every now and then. Give her phases, like Hades.
You are in my domain now!
You know how he climbs to the roof like a monkey. Make her teleport too, like a chandelier, and the only way to get her down is to use Poseidon's Rage. Killing her minions would just yield magic orbs, which works in your favor. Make it so that every time you use Poseidon's Rage to get her to drop down, she unlocks more attacks, like Hades does each time. And then, on the 3rd time you get her down, the chandelier falls on top of her, trapping her, and that's how you get her head. This just makes the boss fight more intense, and it would be fun to see Zesty dying to her on his God of War 1 remake Okoa. Now onto my 3rd demand, increase the number of challenges. What do I mean by increasing the number of challenges? I already talked about those in the first point, didn't I? Well, I'm not talking about those challenges. I'm talking about the challenge of the gods and titans, respectively. Now, I know some of you may still have PTSD from God of War 1's Challenge of the Gods, especially that last one, but that was just it. We didn't have any more, and it was just called the Challenge of the Gods, nothing else. God of War, Ghost of Sparta got the challenges right. You had the challenges of Ares and challenges of Athena. They can use the same logic here for God of War 1. It could be all the gods that helped you throughout your journey. For example, things start off with Challenge of Poseidon, where you finish, like, 5 of his challenges. They can be weird, they can be fucky. I don't care, it would just make good work. Then you get to Challenge of Zeus, then Artemis, and Hades, but most importantly, the Challenge of Aphrodite. Imagine when the challenge begins, it's just the 2 women from the ship, and you do the deed again. And when it says challenge completed, you just hear Aphrodite say,
Oh my!
But the challenges could actually work in favor for the developers. They can make it so that you have to buy the challenges, and completing a challenge just unlocks some armor or costume. To me, it seems fair and calm and reasonable. They can just make money out of it for a while, release new challenges every month or 2, you're making half the community happy. Moving into my 4th demand, which Zesty, Christos, Ximnas, and everyone from the Ultimate God of War Union would really love, is the very hard difficulty. Now, what do I mean by that exactly? Well, if you're a long-time God of War fan, you know very hard difficulty is just very hard, but after you start very hard a second time, it's just not as hard as the first time. My advice is to make the very hard difficulty different from the other difficulties. For example, in this first encounter of God of War 1, where you fight undead legionnaires, how about some cursed legionnaires as well to go along? Or, like this encounter where you fight 2 Cyclops, why not just throw 2 Gorgons here as well? Or, like this encounter in God of War 2 where you're fighting Theseus and he spawns 2 Minotaurs, why not 3? Or when you're in this encounter against these legionnaires and cursed legionnaires, why not throw in a Cyclops here with them? Or fill out some of the empty spots like this sword walk, add 2 Minotaurs here, coupled with some cursed and undead legionnaires. My point is, add more enemies or different enemies if the player is playing on the harder difficulty. Make it so hard that whoever came up with the pain challenge run has to make a run called Lesser Pain. But with that, we move on to my 5th and last demand, the God of War 2 weapon switch. Now, I know some of you have no problem with it, but I do. I don't like the idea of going to the pause menu to change my weapon. I would gladly go there to upgrade my weapons, but not to change them. Now, I have a concept that could work, and Zesty might just fall in love with me if I said that, which is to make it like the weapon switch from God of War 3 using the D-pad. Now, Mournville, what kind of idiot are you? Don't you see that you have to choose magic from the D-pad?
I know.
But my idea is not to get rid of the magic selection or to attach it to weapons. So my idea is to press L2, it doesn't change your weapon. It instead changes the magic selection to weapon selection. I know I'm the
smartest man alive.
But anyway, I think that could work like wonders and would make God of War 2 compete with God of War 3. Shit, even Zesty might give the crown to God of War 2. But wait, I'm not finished yet. Now there's a very cool mechanic in God of War 3 that we all like. It's the quick swap. What if we put that in God of War 2 as well? That could work wonderfully in my opinion, but, Mournville, how? Well, R1 is a pretty useless button in God of War games, only used for interacting with things like chests, doors, levers, and save points. What if we press R1 to quick swap into the next weapon? It would make God of War 2 the game of the fucking century if done right if the devs do that. But with this, we reach the end of my demands. Make sure to like so YouTube pushes this video to more people and subscribe to see more of my future videos. I make cooking videos, and the next video is how to roast the
Ass of Zeus.
Make sure to comment, and now we've got a special announcement. We're very close to 1,000 subscribers, a number my past self couldn't even imagine. I'm so close to it now, and I've been thinking a lot about what to do about reaching 1,000 subscribers. I came up with an idea of a Q&A because last time I asked Yal for a challenge, it didn't turn out so well, so a Q&A would be far better this time. When we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will make a small video announcing the celebration. Ask all your questions in that video, and I will answer. Don't comment any questions on this video, Save that for when I make the questions video. Alright, for now, I must end the video because I've already wasted enough of your time for today, so tata, bye bye.